Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I'm going to be answering a question that I've received probably thousands of times in the last couple of weeks. I generally don't put this kind of video on the body camera channel, but this is a topic that pertains very much to body camera footage, and that's where the majority of the questions come from. So I decided I would put a rare sighting of my face on this channel so I can share with you my thoughts, feelings, and reactions to this new Ohio law. If you're looking at the headline that should be behind me over here, it actually says, requesting police and jail video could cost up to $750 under Ohio law before Mike DeWine, the governor of Ohio. This article was published on December 19th, 2024. The governor of Ohio has since signed this into law. So what this is this was actually an amendment to the Ohio Sunshine Law, which is the Public Records Act that requires municipalities to provide records upon request. Body camera footage is covered under that. I believe it's ORC 143.27. something else. I could be wrong, but I do look at this code quite frequently because I make an absolute ton of public records requests. That's how we get the footage that you guys enjoy on a weekly basis. A lot of people are asking me what I think about this law and how is it going to affect me. Let's first talk about what I think about this law, the nature of the law, all those other things. The reason this law was put in place is because reviewing and redacting body camera footage is burdensome for police departments. If a police department has a body camera system and they want to provide those videos to the public, somebody has to review every single minute of body camera footage prior to releasing that to the public, because there are some things that need to be redacted. Children have to be redacted now due to Marcy's Law. Victims of crime have to be redacted. Nudity, certain violent acts against police officers, certain amounts of grotesque and gruesome images are not supposed to be shown, not supposed to be released to the public through body camera footage. All of these things. And insides of police departments, private businesses, private homes, unless there's an altercation with law enforcement, there's a whole bunch of exceptions to the way the law works. Is everything is considered a public record unless there is an exception to that rule. Like nudity would be an exception to the public records rule. So a video that has nudity in it is no longer a public record. That's what the exceptions are. So people have to review these and look for exceptions. And it's time consuming, because if I request an incident, let's say there's an arrest where there's a use of force, and I request it, and there's 5 officers on scene and the arrest takes an hour. I have to request each of those officers' body cameras. So that's 5 hours of footage that somebody has to review. So for one request, that might take them, let's see, 5 hours to just review it. Then you're looking at redactions. Add 20% of that. You might be looking at 6 or 7 hours just to release the footage of one video, one incident that I put on YouTube that, I might only use a total of 15 minutes of that footage. So I understand where people are coming from when they say, look, this is a tremendous burden on the government and on these agencies. Look at the amount of time that's going into producing these requests. So what they're doing is they're instituting this fee of up to $75 an hour at a total of $750 to, what they're saying is to recoup the cost of rendering and editing and redacting this footage, to hopefully allow them to hire more people, something like that. I've got some more thoughts on that here in a moment. It's such a complicated issue that I think what's actually going to happen with this fee is that you're actually going to be excluding a tremendous number of people from being able to request these videos. That's really what's going on. I can also, and I'm sorry, I'm going to be kind of going all over the place. I don't have any notes. I don't have an outline in front of me today. But it's even been said many, many times in these articles when you read about this, that this law was specifically put in place to stop people who make YouTube videos, specifically people like me. And one of the articles I read, it's not in this particular one, but I saw a quote from Dave Yost, who is the Attorney General in the state of Ohio. And he specifically mentioned YouTube channels that produce body camera footage, and said, these guys are out there making money off of public records, and it's not the government's job to help fund their, he called it like a garden business, like your little side hustle. One of the issues that I have with that is that everybody out there on YouTube isn't doing this for money. It's not necessarily a side hustle. My channel itself is not monetized. This is the monetization side of my YouTube channel. Here it is right here saying, if you would like to monetize, go ahead and apply. So I've been making these videos for going on 5 years now, and I'm not doing it to earn money. I'm doing it to raise public awareness to a cause. You could even say that what I do is activism. We have a lot of anti-police activism. We have some pro-police activism, and that's kind of the world that I find myself in. And these fees are specifically designed to stop people like me. An interesting thing about this is when I saw this hit the news, and actually the way I found out about it was a reporter sent me an email asking for me to come in and do an interview, which I replied that I don't do media interviews. If I have something to say, I'll say it on my own channel. Plus, it takes me some time to kind of gather my thoughts on this. This has been out for 3 weeks now, give or take. And I'm finally just now sitting down to put my thoughts out about this topic. But when I received that request for a media interview, I actually sent a text out to a couple of reporters and stuff I know. And I asked, hey, is your agency going to file any kind of lawsuit or any action to try to nix this? And the response that I got from them was really interesting to me. And I don't think that they meant to insult me by it. One thing they said was, well, I'll get to that in a moment. But they said, I don't think that we're going to be filing any legal action about it. We might ask for a media carve out, which that's really interesting to me, because now you have an issue where the government, the entire government that's out there, is going to decide who is media, who is not media. And you're looking at a situation where only the media is going to be able to request this footage for free, and everybody else is going to have to pay for it. The law was written to try to stop people from profiting off of body camera footage, but that's exactly what the media does. The media is not a charity. The media is out there. They are in business of making money. They make money by reporting the news. They're no different than that YouTuber. And as a matter of fact, the media makes a lot more money than your average YouTuber does. So if you're following the same logic that the law was written under, there should absolutely not be any kind of media carve out. And then you also have to decide who is the media, because here in Columbus, I am considered the media as well. So does that mean that if they make a carve out for the media, I now am in the media, so I don't have to pay these kinds of fees to get this material? We all kind of know the answer to that is it's going to create a world. If they were to make a carve out like that, it would create a world of preferential treatment. What's to say that this online media agency is not considered media by the government and they don't get the footage? You're then discriminating against one organization over another. You're showing favoritism, and that's not something that the government is allowed to do. I think ultimately that would be something that would get this law to be struck down. So there's going to be some future records requests possibly done by me or attorneys that I'm working with once this rule is instituted, to see exactly who is being charged for this media and how much they're being charged. And if it turns out that there's a discrepancy in that, then you're going to have some kind of lawsuits for damages. That's kind of me thinking ahead, thinking about what might happen here. Now, I also want to talk for a moment about the money involved in producing or redacting and providing these videos to the public, because I know that it's time consuming and it's burdensome on the government entity, on the police department itself. But I have a problem with them saying, well, this is too much of a burden, therefore the public has to bear the brunt of that. They're saying, oh, well, we're just looking out for taxpayers and taxpayer dollars. Therefore, we decided it's too expensive to provide these to the public for free. We're going to start charging for them. If you remember back to 2014, 2015, 2016, when at least body cameras were new to my agency in that time, and I think most agencies across the country, it was a relatively new thing to them too. One of the, it was, I think this was in light of the Ferguson shooting. I can't remember the guy's name right now. It's escaping me, but that shooting that happened out in Ferguson, there was no body camera footage of that incident. Everybody said, we can't trust the cops because they don't have body cameras, and we're going to have to put body cameras on every cop. A lot of police departments were out there saying, look, we would love to put cameras on our officers to show you what a good job that they're doing, but we can't afford it. We don't have the money in our budget. And what the activists said and what the politicians said, and this happened in Columbus as well, is, you know what, screw it. You guys have to adjust your budgets. You have to figure it out. You have to come up with the money to buy these cameras. In the city of Columbus, the mayor found some money. The mayor found some money, gave it to the police department and said, here's the money that you need. Go ahead and buy these cameras, outfit all of your officers and all that other stuff. Then it became an issue of storage. Hey, we don't have the money to buy enough servers to store all this body camera footage. The money that you gave us to buy the cameras, purchase the cameras, but now we can't save video. They're beginning to fill up. Once they're full, we'll no longer be able to record body camera footage. Magically, more money was able to just appear. So the government is telling the officers and the police departments, you know what? I don't care what your objections are. You're going to have these body cameras. If it's a matter of money, we'll come up with the money. We'll help you institute this program. Now you also have a situation with small departments. They're saying, these townships and these smaller departments, they don't have the money to buy cameras, pay for all of the server infrastructure. Like you have no idea everything that goes into having a body camera program. You have to go into the substations and you have to buy these charging stations for the body cameras. The charging stations are connected to the internet. You have to have internet, wires going to these things so that they can upload to the internet and that can go to the server. It's a tremendous burden on your IT infrastructure. Now your IT guys have to learn how these servers work. And when you try to log into your email and your email is not working, they might not be available because they're working on a body camera program. Or if you're trying to get your body camera fixed, they're working on the email program or some other IT infrastructure thing. Like, these are a burden to our agencies. And the state, in response to that, started issuing grants. I've got an article up here from January of 2024, just about a year ago. Governor DeWine announces funding for law enforcement agencies' body-worn camera programs. And in it says that they provided $10 million so that small agencies can buy body cameras. So it's not just the local municipalities and these mayors and city councils and stuff that are coming up with money. The state of Ohio is also coming up with money to give to these small agencies so that they can institute a body camera program. So why, now that you've pushed these cameras on everybody and everyone's come accustomed to these cameras, everybody loves the body cameras. I'm a police officer. I love the body cameras. I love all the interactions that it shows. And it shows, if anybody ever questions anything I do, you can just look at my body camera. You're going to see that I haven't done anything wrong, or that I actually did a very good job, or that the person who's talking about me is actually lying. I've posted some situations where citizens lied about police officers on my camera, on my body camera channel as well. So you're saying that we are forced to have all of this stuff. We're forced to buy the cameras. We're forced to buy the servers. We're forced to adapt our IT infrastructure, put charging stations in our substations, run new Ethernet cables through the ceilings, do all of those things, come up with new policies and all of this stuff for body cameras. But now that the public wants to see this video, that's too much of a burden. My argument against this particular law is that your ability to produce this video and give it and distribute it out to the public is part of the whole bundle. This is what you asked for. You wanted these videos, these cameras, for transparency, and now what you're doing is you're denying transparency. You're saying, oh yeah, we have all the video in the world, but no, you can't see it unless you can give me $75 an hour or $750 per request. then I will let you see it. That's creating an environment where there's only transparency for people who can afford it. There's only transparency for the rich. That's not the system that we have. That's not the spirit of which these things were implemented. That's the part that's very frustrating to me. And also it skirts the issue. Because if these cities, states, these, I guess it's supposed to be just for police departments. If these police departments don't have enough people to redact this footage and get requests out on time, they need to hire more people. I don't understand also the government's reluctancy to hire more people. You would think that this would be a tremendous jobs program. If the city of Columbus were to hire, I don't know how many people they have in the office now, but I think it's 6 or 7. If they were to hire another 15 people, that would incredibly help this process. It would also give another 15 people a good, reliable job doing something that is actually important. And it's also, there's no shortage of people to hire. There's no shortage of people looking for jobs. This is also an example of government not properly prioritizing where their resources go. That was one of the other points I probably should have made about 6-7 minutes ago, is that, people in the government are saying we don't have the money to hire people to promote these, to redact these videos and do all this other stuff. But at the same time, out of the other side of their mouth, they're wasting money on a ton of other programs that do absolutely nothing to benefit society. The city of Columbus, for instance, that I get all of my footage from, that's probably going to start charging me $750, or they might attempt to charge me $750 per request. They have an office of diversity, equity, inclusion. That's a complete waste of money. It's a complete waste of money and resources. They also have an office of violence prevention. The Office of Violence Prevention is not out there preventing violence. This is a complete waste of money. It's just stupid. You can take the money that's put into that program that does nothing, put it into this program that actually benefits the public, provides the public something that they asked for. That's good use of your funds. The city of Columbus also has a civilian review board that has absolutely no authority. They're basically just a bunch of squawking hens on a board that complains about the police officers, and their rulings, their verdicts, whatever, have absolutely no weight when it comes to the chain of command on whether or not they're going to make a decision to punish somebody or what. And also, they get their investigations from the Office of the Inspector General that I've shown on this channel multiple times, doesn't know what they're doing either. So often these investigations are so full of holes, gaps, misinformation, and just poor investigating that when it makes it back to the chain of command has to do a whole new investigation just to figure out what happened. There is a ton of fraud, waste, and abuse in our government system, and the body camera system is actually not one of them. This is a very important, essential function of the police department, and it's offensive to me that they've taken this approach. Now, what effect is it going to have on me and my channel? A lot of people have said that this amendment to the law was specifically written to stop me, and I tend to agree with that sentiment. I know that the city of Columbus, the mayor, city council, the safety director, they're not a fan of what it is that I do. They're a fan of transparency as long as they get to choose what the public sees. They're actually not a fan of transparency at all. They're a bunch of crooked liars. And they've been trying to stop me for several years now because I provide the appropriate amount of transparency to the Columbus Police Department. I already mentioned before, the channel doesn't make any money. I don't have money to spend $75 an hour or $750 per request. I do this as a labor of love. I really enjoy this channel. I really enjoy the content that I provide. I enjoy seeing the reactions of the public, and the officers of the Columbus Police Department really appreciate everything that I do as well. I get a lot of messages of support, and I've made a lot of friends due to this particular social media channel. Like I said, this is kind of like my pro-police activism. I think that I'm making the world a better place by showing what the police are really like. I don't have this money. So if the Columbus Police Department starts charging me this kind of money for my records requests, that will be the end of this channel. I don't have anything else to say about it. I'll be done. If I am no longer making videos on this channel, most likely what I'll do is I'll see my family a little bit more. I won't be constantly consumed looking at my phone, monitoring comments and all of that other stuff. I won't have to watch the news anymore to see what kind of content I make. I'm going to get to spend more time with my wife and my family. I won't miss as many soccer games. I'll probably start picking up overtime at work, and my income will actually go up. That's going to be the effect that this law has on my channel. Gone on for about 20 minutes now. I think I've said everything that I intended to say. Those are my thoughts on this particular topic. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you guys later.